Ever feel like your brain is a browser with 57 tabs open while simultaneously absorbing everyone else's emotional Wi-Fi? You're not broken. You're an ADHD empath. And today we're decoding your unique energetic superpower. Aloha, my beautiful soul. My name is May. I am a cyber witch and I support, as I just mentioned, ADHD empaths in becoming their best selves to thrive within all the energies, all the ideas, and everything happening. If you're here, it's because you're probably compassionate, sometimes to the point of forgetting yourself, highly intuitive, but often second guessing your inner voice, someone who feels deeply emotions, energy, and the struggles of the world that can feel very hard. You're probably also creative with a whirlwind of ideas, but unsure which one to start with. An entrepreneur or dreamer building something aligned with your soul, drawn to ancient magic and modern tech, curious about their connection. And someone who struggles with focus but becomes unstoppable when inspired. A natural healer or guide, even if you don't call yourself one yet. Overwhelmed by the world's noise, yet determined to make a difference. Passionate about your justice, personal growth, and collective healing. Curious about rituals, moon cycles, and living in alignment. And probably also tired of traditional advice that doesn't honor your sensitivity or complexity. Welcome, my beautiful soul. You're not too much. You're just what the world needs. And I'm here to show you that. Welcome to your space of thriving with magic and purpose. Today, we're going to be diving deep into everything that has to do, understanding yourself as an ADHD empath, that unique energy blueprint. And before I even get started, just for you to know, you'll find a link below where you can actually find a soul quiz that I have created where you can discover your unique blueprint and start thriving, in both the earthly and the energetic realm. So if you'd like to just follow the link in the description of this video or this podcast episode. Now, as I mentioned, I want to dive into the unique blueprint that you have. It doesn't matter if you're only ADHD or only an empath, or if you're probably, like me, a mix of both. I want to get started with this, what it actually means to be an ADHD empath, because as I mentioned in other episodes before, we combine those traits, but also we combine the challenges that come with both, right? So just so that we, are on the same table, the very first thing that we have is we have a deeply emotional sensitivity. That means we feel everybody else's emotions. Sometimes we're not sure which ones are ours, which ones the ones from someone else. Sometimes we absorb other people's energies because, the empath side of us is actually a natural, how do we call it, catalyst? I'm not sure if catalyst would be the right word, but I always like to compare it sort of like to a sponge. We absorb everybody else's energies. It goes into our sponge, and then it goes through our cleansing cycle that we naturally have as empaths, and then it just, it flows back to everybody, and everybody's fine. But sometimes that, if we don't learn to deal with the energies properly, it stays sturdy inside of us and, makes us feel bad. And there's so many negative sides to that, So another thing that does that with us is that we become highly attuned to subtitles, whether someone shifts in tone, body language, or, unspoken energies, we feel it. We might not always read it right, but we feel that there's something wrong. Depending on our own, I always say we need to watch out for our own filters that we have, because that's when we might, interpret things a little bit different, but we feel that there's something wrong. And, that's one of the traits that we have that can be helpful. But if not, if we don't do it in a right way, or if we don't allow that to happen in a good way, it, again, we're on the challenges side that makes it a little bit harder. being an ADHD empath means that we have ADHD fueled creativity. That means our mind is so, a whirlwind of innovation, of ideas fueled by, so many things, so many ideas that we have that we want to do. And then in between, we dive into hyperfocus, when we have a special inspiration because there's something that really inspired us so much. And meaning that naturally we are the ones that think outside the box, that we see connections, puzzles in a whole different way, like other people do, which helps us to, do incredible things and be very incredible visionaries. If, at the same time, that same trait doesn't, hold us back in certain ways. Another thing that we also have, being empath ADHDers or ADHD empaths, means that we struggle with overwhelm on different kinds of levels, because on one hand, our ADHD side could be overwhelmed with crowds and loud noises. Who hasn't had that? Someone else sitting next to you going, and you're just going crazy inside. That's one of the things that we have. Emotional tension, all of those, when we get overstimulated or drained by other things happening around us, that's a huge overwhelm that can happen. One of the biggest overwhelms that that I have been working on myself is having the need to feel responsible for everybody else. That's also one of the things, but we'll dive into that in other episodes. Our sensitivity combined with the ADHD makes it challenging to filter out distractions sometimes. I don't know how it is with you, but for me, I can't live without these. These are, noise canceling headphones. For those of you listening and not watching, I'm holding up my noise canceling headphones because I couldn't live without these. These are like the best protection energetically as an empath, but also noise wise with my ADHD. Like when I'm surrounded by things that I don't want to hear, put on those. It's heaven. It's heaven. Another thing that we have, and I feel like this one's from both trades, is also deep desire to help others. We feel like we need to, we feel like we need to help because we feel so compassionate with everybody else. We feel other people's feelings. As our ADHD brain immediately understands how someone else, what's happening with someone else and what the solutions could be for that person. And that's why we feel the need that all the time we need to help, we need to uplift, we need to support everybody else, which again makes that we don't help ourselves, right? So sometimes we overextend and we forget our own boundaries, within that part as well, right? So that's a huge part that we need to look out for. Another thing is that we have is, the difficulty in managing focus and energy. Where do I focus my energy? And this is actually one of the very first things that I learned as an empath, to learn how to focus my energy. And, now I know that that's actually helped me focus my ADHD mind. I learned tools how to focus my ADHD mind and where I want to set the energy, which is amazing. But like what I'm trying to say is that trait is actually from both, both ADHD and empath, because it doesn't matter if it's other people's energies or if it's, 1,000 ideas, or like I said, the 57 tabs in my brain. It can all cause, overwhelm if I don't focus it in the right way. And this doesn't mean that, because I know as ADHDers, it's hard to focus. I know it's hard to focus, but there's ways to do that. There's ways to bring that back in, and balancing that sensitivity and ADHD means that you constantly have to find, and manage yourself a fine line between, is this inspiration or is this distraction right now? And then, one of the things that you're going to be hearing a lot from me is give yourself grace if you did get distracted, because it's okay to get distracted sometimes, because it's also a form of, feeling better for ourselves. Another thing is that we have, that you might have noticed for yourself, passion and purpose. We can't deal without purpose. And this is also one of the things that I thought way back when, was a form there. Here in Germany, they have, uh, uh, a form of depression that they actually gave an English name, burnout. And so that's the one, if you burn out because you're overwhelmed, it's too much in your job, right? You have too much to do, so you burn out. And they actually have a second version, also depression, same symptoms. Say, it looks the same, just that the cause is different because it's called bore out. And it's not because you're bored, it's because you don't have purpose in what you're doing. And that's actually what happened to me when I was still working, in what's it called, the in the corporate world, that didn't have purpose for me. So I needed to change that, and I needed to get out of this. This is why for us, if we don't have a passion, if we don't have a purpose, it makes it harder. So we need to find ways to align that soul purpose that we have, the heart purpose, the soul purpose, to put it in there. And, once we are in there, it's unstoppable and it's amazing. And I can, out of my own experience, I can tell you it's amazing once you get to that point. But it needs to, you need to do the work to get to that point, and we dream big, but about making the world better, kinder, a nicer place. That's one of the things that we want to do. And I believe all of us can do it if we allow ourselves to go into that journey. Another thing is that we have emotional resilience and growth because we feel so deeply. We have the capacity to heal ourselves, to grow from everything that we do, to transform with the experiences, to allow ourselves to, and like the word says, to be resilient for ourselves and grow. And we can do that in spite of having maybe the challenges of an ADHD brain or, of the empathy. All of those things can help us to find a way. In my case, and probably if you're here for you as well, it's because you're looking for it in a spiritual and personal level, because I'm going to put it under quotation marks, the normal way that everybody else does to find their purpose in life, or, whatever it is. It was harder because we tick differently, we work differently. And so we need a different path. And I feel that for all of us, and that's what helped me. And I hope that to show you as well, how the spiritual path can give you a way. And I'm not saying that I'm going to tell you what kind of spirituality. No, you are going to choose your own, as long as you choose something for yourself that you can believe in. That's so important. And another thing that ADHDers and empaths have alike, and here we go, being an ADHD empath or an empathic ADHDer, is that we require a whole lot of recharging time and recalibration time for ourselves. And it's necessary. So it's one thing that we should, know to set the right boundaries so that we receive that alone time for ourselves, right? For, to get rid of all the noise outside, to cleanse ourselves, and to get the right emotional input for ourselves, So, and this is one of the things that I don't think we need to learn it. We just need to prioritize the times in between, because I feel like most of the people that I've gotten to know is that we do like being by ourselves, the solitude that helps us get clarity, just that sometimes we don't do it because, we feel like we're in the people pleaser mode. And, that's another thing. We'll have that as a topic this year as well. And one of the things that I've always loved, and I remember way back when, at the beginning of my spiritual path, I remember how one of the shamans that I went to, actually, he was a Santeria priest. And I remember how he explained to me, you know what? You know how clairvoyant people sometimes see the future, and other clairvoyant people see the past. And I remember how he said to me, and you see the present. And for me, now, like I think it's 14, 15 years later, I'm seeing myself and I'm like, yeah, because as an empath, as an ADHDer, I have the gift, and you too, if you're here and listening to me, because as ADHDers, as empaths, we have that seeing the bigger picture. We see the bigger picture of people, of persons, of things happening. That's why we're so good at finding paths, at finding solutions so fast, because we might be, sometimes when we're in our own story, that's a different thing. But when we're looking for someone else, we don't have the linear path. We can look at all the different angles, and that's why we can see it in a whole different way. And that's a gift that we bring. Right. So we are the natural visionaries, and we are capable of imagining a lot of new possibilities and a lot of new things. So that's the part, this is what I would say that I'd like to call, what it means for us to be ADHD empaths, right? So you've already seen the overlapping challenges that we have in between both, meaning that, the heightened sensitivity is something that overlaps ADHD and empath, being an empath. It might come from a different angle. We might be doing it from different reasons why we're overwhelmed, but we have that. Another one that you might have noticed from what I just said is also the struggles with boundaries. No, doesn't matter which side, if it's our ADHD or empathic side, but both of them often struggle with setting the right boundaries. If it's for me time, if it's for alone time, if it's, boundaries because there's something happening that we don't like anymore for ourselves. If someone is doing things that we don't want anymore, it takes us a very long time to actually finally set the boundaries. And sometimes even then we feel bad because we set the boundaries, right? So we have this sensitivity because on one hand, we want to heal the world and heal everything and heal everyone, but we don't keep our own bond. We don't do it for ourselves. And that's one of the things that we struggle with, right? That we need to learn to do. Another thing is, managing our energies. Same thing here, because it all comes down back again to the boundary setting, but it's about managing my energies, like harnessing the moments that I'm in hyperfocus and harnessing the moments when I'm not, when I might be on a different plane. I need to watch my own energy. I always talk about surfing your energy wave, because we have different waves, and knowing when your waves are coming when, right? That's an overlapping thing that we have as empaths and as ADHDers, because, it depends on where we are. And this is one of the things why I became an entrepreneur, and why a lot of ADHDers are entrepreneurs, because being entrepreneurs, we can decide when we're in the right energy to keep on working. Different than when you are, in a job, which it doesn't mean that it doesn't work as an ADHD in a job. You can work in it always depends on what kind of bosses you have, what kind of clients and people you have around you in your job as well. It can all work out, and it's all possible, but it needs that little tinsy thing of watching yourself, being graceful with yourself, and being aware of your energy. And another thing that also both sides have is the perfectionism and self-doubt. We struggle so much with perfectionism and self-doubt. We struggle with it because we have this very high morals. We want everything to be as perfect as possible. And then we think we can't go out there. And the problem with that is that if we think that our ADHD or our being an empath is something negative, we're actually fighting ourselves. And that's the sad part. And I'm here to hopefully show you that you don't have to. You're amazing. And last but not least, the last point to give you here is overlapping challenges that we have in that way is the struggle with, balancing relationships, because we do have relationships, but we have our hyper focus on stuff that inspires us. And then we have other things. And so even for empaths, it's hard or not so easy to come into and be in a relationship, because in the moment that we allow someone into our space as empaths, that person has a lot of, not just, I wouldn't say, control is probably the wrong word, but um, a lot of responsibility with us. We do have it, but also because, in our private space, we want to be able to be vulnerable, and the other person has so much power in that moment, you know? And so that's the part where we need to know how to prioritize, how to, when to set right boundaries, and, when to see all that, to have a right balance for yourself. Yes. So that was that part. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you, I mean, I am going to share a lot of things with you because in the next couple of months, because for me, everything that I learned from my shamanic teacher gave me a good base. And then, I had the Hawaiian philosophy and the Huna philosophy and Ho'oponopono, if you've heard, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that I studied, that I learned to learn the energy, the I would call them the universal laws of energies that we have, to understand myself better, to understand everything better. And with that, I learned to, have, I would like to say overcome, but it's not 100% true for everything, because I know we're human. So there's still a lot of things that, I have to work on, but that, it has given me tools that make my life so much easier. I am in a place where I like who I am. I love who I am. I like what I do. I enjoy what I do 24/7. I'm inspired. Of course, there's downtimes and days where it's, where I have to, set my boundaries. I mean, the reason why I've been wanting to make a video for the past 19 days since the year started, and it had to happen today. Allowing myself to have grace with that I had to, this year started with so many intense energies that I didn't get to do it until today. And it's okay for me to, start today. So today's our beginning together. And, what I'm trying to say with that is we all have that. The thing is that we need to find ways and find the right tools for ourselves to, stand in our own power, to have that feeling of belonging to yourself. And I hope that you can take with yourself that, first of all, you're not alone. Hi, I'm here. And I know we're not the only ones. There's more of us out there. And I know that we can come together. And I hope that I will be able to help you with that and guide you with that. But what I wanted to mainly to say is that, the shamanism, the Hawaiians, so many things helped me find the tools. One of the things that helped me understand myself in a better way, let's put it this way. It didn't help me understand, but it gave me the right explanations. That's the right thing. It gave me the right explanations. And to tell you the truth, this is one of the things that I wish I could have had earlier, because I don't know. No, let's put it this way. I'm fine the way it happened for me, but I'm telling you because I believe that knowing this as early as possible will help you more going forward to what to accepting, allowing yourself to accept who you are, the way you are. And that one of those tools was, and still is, human design. It came to me through a friend. I'm not a specialist in it. I don't do human design readings. So please go ahead and do, if you can Google it. It's very interesting. If you're interested, I'm a projector 2/4 with 2/4. And there's different, different types that you can be and what you do and everything. And, for me, I remember when I had my very first human design reading, and it's a mix of I Ching, downloaded things, and astrology. It's very interesting because I feel like it's how do you call it? It's like an upgrade to astrology before. It's an upgrade to everything that we had before. It's sort of like the upgrade to it that helped me understand, not just understand, accept myself for who I am better. All the work that I did before helped me a lot. But once I had it, for me, human design sort of was like the here, see, now it's written down. That's why I am who I am. That's why I am the way I am. And it's okay to be the way I am because I am the way I am. And that's why I wanted to share this one with you today so that you can take it with yourself if you want to look into it. If you haven't, go check out human design. Not being an expert myself, why am I telling you about human design? That's another thing, because being the projector that I am with, with my authority, I think it's a splenic authority and it's Mills, but I don't remember the English name for that, but it doesn't matter. Being a projector that I am, or, if you deal with human design explanations, one of the things is that being who I am, I need to wait for invitation. So that's one of the things why, for me, I can't be doing a lot of, promotional stuff for myself, because the only thing that I can do is show you I'm here, I can support you. And if you ever feel like you want to work with me, I'm here. You will find, all the details here beneath my video. So I hope you enjoy, all the content that I'm giving you to show you that I'm here and that I understand you and that I want to help you. And I hope that my content already helps you. If you want to support me, you can head on over to my Patreon community and become a Patreon over there. Or if you like to, you can just go ahead and find, like I mentioned in the beginning, my soul quiz that I created for you, where you can, find out a little bit more about your unique blueprint that you have. Would love to see you there. And other than that, that's why I won't be promoting anything other than tell you, hi, I'm here and I can support you. And because, because, and that's what I wanted to tell you about human design, because those are the ones that help me understood that I can't do that I can't go ahead and push promotional things on someone as an entrepreneur. I can tell you that I'm here and that I can help you. And that helped me a lot to understand myself better, to understand you as my maybe clients in the future better. But mainly it helped me understand why so many, online classes, online schools from I'm going to put it again in quotes, of the normal marketing ways before didn't work for me. Why am I mentioning marketing to you? Is because I want to share this with you, because I know that we are entrepreneurs and there's so many things in the entrepreneurial world, in marketing as well, that is changing. So many things happening right now that are going in different ways. And one of the things that is happening is that us neuro spicy people are being accepted more because we are accepting ourselves more, right? So sharing this with you is because I know that to probably 90% of you being my listener is because you're also an entrepreneur. And I want to share this with you because on the business side, human design was one of the things that helped me move forward, that helped me understand myself better in this realm, or how to, move around in this realm, why the normal marketing stuff didn't work for me. And again, I'm sharing this with you because I felt like I was doing so many things wrong because I didn't understand this gift, this trait. And here I'm making the circle to the beginning. For me, this today is about the blueprint of us being ADHD empaths and understanding ourselves better, who we are, and especially learning that we are not broken. We are not wrong. We are enough and we're amazing. And like I said in the beginning, we're just what the world needs. And we need to come forward. We need to come and show ourselves and be out there. And we can do that by understanding who we are. And you can do that, for example, today, maybe with human design, if you'd like to go and check that one out, or in just becoming more present with yourself. Maybe listen to this episode again, to all the to some of the challenges that I mentioned, to some of the traits that I mentioned. Which of those resonate with you? And let me know which one resonated most with you, because then I'll know for next time, or, in the next couple of weeks. Let me know in the comments, because if you let me know in the comments, then I'll know which one was most interesting for you, and I can make that episode for you. With that said, my beautiful soul, I hope you enjoyed today's episode again. I wish you an amazing Happy New Year. I hope you had an amazing start, because in spite of it being energetically very intense, let's put it this way, it has been amazing couple of weeks, very transformative. I'm grateful for all the transformation. I am extremely tired, but I am very grateful for all the transformation that I was able and allowed to live through this. And with that said, thank you so much for being here, for listening to this episode, either on YouTube or wherever you're tuning in from. Thank you so much for that, and have a great time. And this is your Cyber Witch May, powering down for today.
Vibrations rising, energy flowing free. Your power's within. Can you feel me? 57 tabs open, emotions everywhere, sensitivity burning bright beyond compare. ADHD mind spinning like waves on the shore. Creative spirit knocking down every door. You're not broken, you're a miracle, yeah. Radiant soul, shine your light. Break through the noise, take flight. Your magic's real, your vision clear. Unleash your power without any fear. Radiant soul, healing energy, natural born guide. Intuition rolling like a tropical tide. Compassion burning, solution so bright. Transforming shadows into pure sunlight. You're exactly what the world needs right now. Radiant soul, shine your light. Break through the noise, take flight. Your magic's real, your vision clear. Unleash your power without any fear. Radiant soul, boundary song, energy pure. Your sensitivity is your superpower for sure. Surf those waves, embrace your flame. No more playing someone else's game. Radiant soul, shine your light. Break through the noise, take flight. Your magic's real, your vision clear. Unleash your power without any fear. Radiant soul, shine your light. Break through the noise, take flight. Your magic's real, your vision clear.